I want to move then now on to the sort of bigger political scene in the U.S., and it seems like American politics is starting to realign in ways that you have predicted and talked about in your work. And we're in the midst of a racial realignment, with recent polling showing non-white voters shifting away from Democrats towards Republicans, and an economic realignment as well, with the richest now explicitly favoring Democrats over Republicans. Walk us through these numbers here, and how this plays out into this idea that the Democrats have basically abandoned their working class roots.
Yes, thank you so much for pointing out that I've been right all along, James. One never tires of hearing such a thing. But yes, indeed, the people who have been talking about the realignment for all of these years, it turns out we knew what we were talking about. 9 of the 10 richest districts in America are now led by Democrats. 65% of people making more than $500,000 a year are now Democrats. 97% of donations from Silicon Valley go to Democrats, as well as 94% of donations from journalists. Did you know, James, that Wall Street in 2020 gave more money to Democrats than they did to Donald Trump? That's what we're seeing here, is a realignment. And, they love to say white rural rage is what's fueling Donald Trump. It is a canard. It is nonsense. Joe Biden is losing Black and Hispanic working class Americans who are not defecting for the GOP. They are defecting for Donald Trump because he speaks to the working class of all races. And the Democrats, meanwhile, have abandoned labor to cater to highly educated college elites and the dependent poor on the bottom, people who don't work, meaning everybody else who is working class, who works with their hands for a living, who struggles for the American dream. The Democrats have turned their backs on them. And it's worse than that, James. With every utterance, with every bill, with every policy, they express their disdain for these people. Not just the white working class, but increasingly working class of people of color.
Well, and, just on the subject of going after the working class, this story here is a great microcosm of that. New York Attorney General Letitia James was famously booed at a New York firefighters ceremony last week, and there were reports that they were going to have a full investigation to find and punish those who booed Letitia James. She's a woman who's been going against Donald Trump in New York. Now, after publicity, the spokesman for the fire department said, no, we're not going to investigate. It's all fine. But just the fact that, firefighters are booing a Democrat, and that the Democrat regime is going after firefighters, and you don't get more sort of, peak of the honest working class than that, that's pretty telling, isn't it?
That's exactly right. This entire lawfare project against Donald Trump, which has been waged by elite Democrats with multiple degrees, right? The quintessential over-credentialed college elites stand in direct contrast to people like firefighters who have achieved the American dream through hard work, through skilled trades, through manufacturing, right? These used to be de rigueur, regular ways for average working class Americans to achieve the American dream. They're increasingly vanishing, but the areas where they remain, cops, firefighters, these are people that the Democrats can't stand because they have managed to achieve the American dream while circumventing the woke doctrination of a college degree, which is the only way that Democrats want you to be able to have an American dream. So that scene of them yelling, Trump, 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 right? That scene is you're exactly right, James. That is the realignment in one image.
And, you spoke a moment ago about how just there's basically no policy that they won't do to go after ordinary people. This story made me so mad as a New Yorker because New York City is now going after pizza, and Mayor Eric Adams' environmental department has approved a plan that requires pizzerias with, wood and coal fire ovens to cut their pollutants by 75%. Batya, is there any pleasure that normal people can take and enjoy that the elite will not go after?
By the way, it's not just pizza ovens, it's matzah ovens. I'm an Orthodox Jew, right? We need to make matzah for Passover. What are we supposed to do? Yes, you nailed it again, James. The Green New Deal is class warfare against the working class. It's always the working class who are asked to make sacrifices on the altar of the elite woke vanity.
Batya Ungar-Sargon, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for breaking it down for us, and we'll have you on again soon on the U.S. Report.